a diamond from gold.
Welcome. Let me just adjust my music volume. I can't believe I just started this for like 5 minutes and had no music to it. I didn't even realise. I had the wrong thing muted. There we go. Let's deal with the first problem of the stream. Right, Bosh. This is Josh's idea of a conference suite. Not really sure why we're here, because he kind of forgot the key fact that I needed something to wear, so I'm now just wearing my tracksuit. But, you know, it's pretty fire anyway, look at that. Josh is dressed up like that. Fancy dress, apparently. Oh, there's a camera here. Oh, bloody hell. I'll just position it like this. Right, anyway. Let me get back in my position. Right. I need to come off mute. There we go. Step one. Josh, mic test.
Hello.
Success. Right, is the volume and everything alright for everyone in stream? I'm not too loud, music's not too loud, Josh isn't too loud, everything's fine. Right, well yeah, welcome to episode 2 of the SLT podcast. So, obviously, last time it was just a bit of a general kind of hello from us, really, and just answering questions. This specific episode, if you like, we're going to go over kind of frequently asked questions, stuff regarding having leaked assets, leaked groups, backgrounds, so as in the background of the senior leadership team, well, in the group. Josh, that is awful, mate. What is that?
Oh, my microphone was muted. My bad.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna go over today. Obviously, last time we got a bit carried away. This stream was supposed to be like 15-20 minutes and turned out to be like an hour and a half. But this stream will go on until about 8 o'clock because we have an SSU straight after this. So I'm sure many of you will appear on there and pester me for the majority of the night. So I'd greatly appreciate if you didn't do that because it's very distracting, but what can I say? Paparazzi. Right, so where can we get into? What do you want to start with first? I'll start with I'll answer some questions that you are asking in chat, and then I'll go on to some of the other topics. So I have started a Q&A in chat, so if you've got any questions, you can click on the Q&A. I don't actually know how it works. I don't stream on YouTube often, unless it's on this channel, so I don't know how you ask it in the Q&A section. I mean, oh, there we go, two people have asked them. Any idea when the new map is dropping? So the new map's progress is still going ahead. Like I said initially, the initial release date for the map was supposed to be around May to June to July. It's going to be a summertime release, just because we want to get things perfect. So yeah, it's still looking to be around that time that it's going to be released. Yeah, that's regarding the new map. Do you allow Xbox players? Yes. I mean, if your Xbox can support it, then you know the game allows it. I don't think there's anything that isn't ticked on the like permissions section in game. There might be one thing, I can't remember what it is, but there might be one thing that's there that isn't ticked. But I know phone can join game, Xbox can join game, computer can join game. So yeah, what's going on with the applications? Good question. I could not tell you because I'm not the one who does the applications in the recruits courses. I'm waiting for the ACFO to get back to me on that. As far as I'm aware, the applications have been processed. We've got the list of people now who are moving on to the next step, which is what's the next step? The informal interviews. So that's the next step of the applications, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure he's got the list together for already. Is blah 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 allowed back into GMFRS? No, he's not. How many calls can you get this week? How many calls can we get this week? We could get anything from 1 call to 1,000 calls. I don't really know how to answer that question. It just depends on, usually depends on how many civs are in game and how busy the keep was. But generally, each week we probably average like, I don't know. I can't really give you a solid answer to that, to be honest. Let me swap my tab back quickly. Can VR join game? No. That might be the one thing that isn't ticked. I didn't even know that was a thing, that you could play Roblox with VR, but no. I'm pretty sure that is the one thing that isn't ticked. GM till I die, of course. Yeah, so obviously last stream we were just eyeing up GMP again, so GMP's now been in game for what, 3 weeks, something like that. Obviously I'm sure the majority of you have had your run-ins with GMP, but Josh, is there anything that you want to mention on GMP? Or
me?
You up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So in terms of GMP, obviously most people that are actively in the game have probably seen GMP about, dealt with GMP in some way. The only thing I can really say on it is, if you're doing something that will get the police's attention, then you will have the police's attention, will have their full attention. So like, don't mess around in game and think that you'll get away with it. Obviously that's it's run like a police force. If you're looking for trouble, then you'll get the trouble. And then don't also try not to complain when something does happen, when you've provoked it. But obviously there's processes in place for that. So complaints forms and stuff like that, where if you think you've been treated unfairly in any way or anything like that, then you can bring that up. Obviously, if you are actively out for trouble, then GMP will sort it out as best as they can.
Excuse me. Yeah, so the response to GMP in game has been pretty good, to be fair. You know, a lot of people are coming on and are just trying to get role plays in, which is appreciated by GMP and me and whoever. Because, you know, it makes the game more active, it makes the game more fun to play, ideally. Obviously, we don't want the police to now end up being removed from the game for whatever reason, and then the game going back to being chaotic. Because, you know, I don't want you lot coming on and wanting to just RP, but then do the wrong thing, and then you end up getting banned from the game with admin or blah, blah, blah. But yeah, no, having the police in game, the actual response from civs and the actual police officers has been really good. I can say for a fact that fire service very much appreciate the police's presence. Let me catch up with things. How are you? Both of us are fine, thank you very much. Ford Focus convoys, that was a pretty mega... to be fair, I must say there was a lot of pictures that floated around of that, because that was very, very funny. I've never... in the, nearly 5 years that I've had this game, I've never turned out of Hyde Fire Station and seen 6 Ford Focuses all convoying parts up at the side of the road. That was pretty mental. GMP's just corrupt a tiny bit, but hardly people are just dramatic. The thing is, GMP, you've got to look at it from their point of view, right? If we're doing an SSU, you know, in the evening on a weekday night, where some people are in work, some people are at school the next day, so occasionally, you know, we only have 2 or 3 GMP officers on at the moment, just because we haven't got the numbers up for it yet. Then if there's 10 civs who are all trying to provoke GMP, you know, they're all crashing into different people, trying to break into fire stations, trying to steal this, trying to do that, then you've got to understand GMP's point of view when they struggle to contain it all, and then you all end up just putting a cell for 5 minutes or whatever. But, you know, ideally we don't want to have to do that, but when you're continuously doing it, then it's going to get to the point where there's not really a lot that can happen other than that. I get that occasionally GMP can get a bit wild, and every time they do that, I have mentioned it in the past. But, you know, in the past week or two, I don't think I've had any problems with GMP. I think all the problems have generally come from the civs in game causing trouble and trying to provoke GMP, and then when it all backfires and GMP actually get an upper hand on it, then that's when all the civs start getting a bit toxic about it. But, you know, what can you expect? Why are you not in a fire station? We're in a conference room. I'm not really sure why we're not in a fire station. This is just Josh's idea, so we're rolling with it.
It's a conference.
Right, so we will move on to the next topic. Let me just double check this Q&A tab one more time. I have to keep changing tabs for it. Do you have Instagram about the game? Yes, we will go over that in a minute. Why do GMP officers jump in your cars? I don't think I've ever seen a GMP officer jump in any cars. Josh, have you got anything to back that up with?
I haven't seen any GMP officers jumping in cars. The only thing that could resonate in any way would be, say they're trying to get you out the car. Obviously, Roblox physics, if you walk close to a seat, you're going to end up sat in it. That's the only way that I can imagine it, unless that's happening then. I've not heard of anything. And if it happens and somebody's just jumped into your car, then obviously there's the complaints form, or you could ask them to get out or anything like that. But as to the best of my knowledge, nothing at all like that has happened.
Well, then we'll start up properly anytime soon. So with MWAS, it's a bit of a kind of wobbly subject at the moment, just because GMP's only just returned to the game. So the priority at the moment is trying to get GMP on its feet first, before we try and do MWAS as well. Because if we're doing both at the same time, something's bound to go wrong halfway. You know, something's going to clash and it's not going to work out. So we're just kind of hoping that we can get GMP up and running, get the numbers up for GMP, get them more active. And then once that's all going, then definitely MWAS is something to look at in the future. But obviously, you've been on game recently. There is a DCA and an advanced paramedic that knocks about occasionally. It's just when he's free, he's on. But there's only a couple of people who are doing it at the moment. So, right, let me move on to this next thing now. Let me just swap back to live chat. Live chat. It's very awkward. I have to keep joining back. Is anything happening with underage members and alt accounts if someone's banned? Yeah, so obviously if there's proof that someone is using an alt account, then we ban them. It's as simple as, if you get banned on your main account, then it's generally for a good reason. You know, I don't try to set out there to ban people for no reason at all, but when you've got leaked asset, the whole point of the stream is obviously to go into that, so we are going to go into it in a minute. But yeah, if you're using an alt account, then don't be surprised if you get banned. If you're using an alt account already and I haven't noticed it, then well played, fair play, you've dodged the system, congratulations, well done. But yeah, if there's any proof of someone using an alt account, then they will get banned. As simple as.
Me know a chatty nutty where it happens quite often. We all know what to look out for, and if we don't see it, quite often somebody will come forward and say, there's obviously lots of different things that that we can see that's happening.
Yeah, there is a lot of people now that do come forward to us and give us information, which is very helpful. Can we see the fire station? I'm not at a fire station at the moment, mate. I'm in my conference room. So no, I cannot show you a fire station at this moment in time. But if you go through the YouTube videos in the past and the past streams, you will see all the stations on there. Is anything happening with the pumps being 3i? I don't understand that question. If you mean with 3 people on it, then again, the reason for that is just so then we've got more pumps on the run. You know, it's always been like that. Only having 3 in the pump. Yeah, so the whole thing with having 3 in a pump is generally just so we can have more appliances on the run. Obviously, if we only get 5 or 6 coming on an SSU, then I'd prefer to have 2 pumps on the run that can respond to separate incidents than having 1 pump that's just that has to go around the whole map. Obviously, things change with that. So if we've got a pump of 3, then generally the BA member in the back will not be going in on his own. When we've got 2 pumps on a 3, both pumps will attend an incident where BA is required, and both BAs on the pump will go in as a team. So yeah, generally that's the way it'll work. But it's much better to have 2 pumps go at different jobs, because obviously at times we can get like 3 or 4 jobs on the go at once from different civs. And if we're saying, oh yeah, we've only got 1 pump on the run, it'll be there with you in 20 minutes. Once we finish 4 other jobs, it doesn't look great. So I'd rather have them 2 pumps, but that's the way it's always been. So yeah.
Am I right to answer this?
Go for it.
In terms of Civ jobs. Obviously, that's something we are like most definitely working on, and that will mainly come with a new game. Obviously, we can't fill up the game with a load of different things. Like I saw quite a good one, RAC. That's something we definitely want to do. Don't get me wrong, we want to fill the game with as much as we can, but we've got to be wary of the lag that it's causing users. Obviously, if it's causing them a lot of lag, they might not be able to come into game, and they'll be lagging that much that they won't want to come into game. So we definitely are adding things. So we've got, for instance, McDonald's in at the minute. We're aiming to get that more interactive, and so you can actually do things at the restaurant. We're working on other things as well behind the scenes. We're constantly like in contact with each other, saying like what we can do, how we can make things better, what we can add to make civs like actually have more interactive jobs and being able to do stuff rather than just watch what happens or make incidents. So that stuff is definitely like behind the scenes in the works, but the majority of it will come with a new game. So you just sort of got to stick it out for now if possible.
When's the next Taste Today? So Taste Today is generally hosted once a month or so. It just depends how quick we can get courses done and out there, because obviously we don't want to have a course on constantly, because then it just creates stress for everyone who's running the course and people who are waiting to hit back from it. So yeah, next Taste Today will probably be at some point either next month or the start of March. What if you only get 3 fire members then? Like only 3 firefighters. So yeah, so it's the same concept like I've just said. If we only get 3 on, then I always like to put a pump on just for the sake of having a bit of fun. Just doing an SSU. I mean, I've never had a problem with it up to this date. I've never had a problem with having 3 people on a pump, because everyone who come on my pumps are all competent. They all know what they're doing. They all work together to deal with the fact that there's only 3 of them. The driver plays the role of managing the pump, road closures, whatever you want to go into with all the stuff that a driver will get up to. But again, that's not something that I want to kind of focus on this stream. And then the BA has his job, and then the gaffer will have his job. So one truck will be on the run. Yeah, exactly. So we'll just literally have the 1 pump on the run. It's not very often that we only get 3 people on. Generally, like we're at the moment we are averaging like 4 or 5 on, even SSUs that are like in the middle of the night. You lot know what like our shift times are like. My sleep schedule is absolutely horrific at times, so sometimes we'll have shifts at like 2 or 3 in the morning. But we've got, like I said last stream, we've got a good collection of Australian firefighters who are firefighters in real life for rural fire departments in Australia, who are also on game. So it's good when they all get on, because we can have up to like we did one the other week at like 1 in the morning at our time in the UK, and we had like 8 people on, which is a good mix of Australians, British, and a couple of American. When my new photos,
it's mainly a thing of like quality over quantity. I mean, there could be 3 firefighters on, 3 staff on, and they do run an absolutely amazing team. Whereas though, say, another group with leaked assets trying to be this Greater Manchester, say police or fire, they could have 20 on and it still be shoddy, no command, etc., etc., and it shows. So it's definitely like quality. Everything's like quality over quantity.
Definitely. When will Shift P be added, so people don't have to ask? Shift P is something that's done with admin, so it'll never be something that everyone can just join game and immediately have access to. And again, when it does work properly, I don't like to give it out to everyone. Just for privacy reasons, more in station, because we've got backgrounds of people just free coming into station and taking pictures of everything. But obviously, when it does work properly, then I don't mind giving it to a couple of people. Right, well, we're already 23 minutes in, and I've not actually gone on to anything else apart from the questions yet. So let me just get the right thing up. Bear with. Bam, bam. Right, so like I say, the point of the stream was to go over a lot of frequently asked questions, which were regarding banned groups, leaked assets. If you've got leaked assets, can you still join the game? Yada yada yada. So why don't you take legal action on leaked assets so the groups don't take your stuff and make money off your assets? up to now, no one's been able to make any money off any of the assets. Like I said, the pumps and stuff like that, that's all dealt with by our vehicle dev, who is the DCFO, which again we went into last stream. So obviously go back, if you've got a chance, go back and watch that, because there was a lot of good questions asked and answered in that. But yeah, no, that is, when it comes down to vehicles and buildings and stuff like that, it can be taken up to different kind of levels. It just depends on what level another person is using them assets to. If there's people openly selling assets on like Clearly Dev, or PayHip or whatever the like typical selling website for Roblox models is, then generally that is something that we crack on to pretty quickly and get it taken down. When it comes to the Roblox free model page, there isn't really a lot you can do about that. Without having like severe contacts, you know, maybe Adopt Me. If someone was to upload an exact copy of Adopt Me, then it'd be easier. But you know, it's what you can prove, stuff like that as well. Yes, Josh, that's fine. Right, so first off, we'll go into who our SLT actually consists of, because there's been a lot of people that have been going about recently saying that this group's run by people who don't know what they're doing, yada yada yada. So I thought we'll go into that a bit. So obviously our SLT team consists of myself, Chad, Ross, and Josh. So me, Chad, and Ross have all got a background in the fire service already. Me and Chad were cadet instructors and were doing volunteering at fire stations from a very, very young age. As well as other bits behind the scenes that obviously I'm not going to go into on stream, but yeah, that's mainly me and Chad. Ross has got family background in the fire service, so Ross is close family of Ross's is an area manager in one of his local brigades, and then obviously Josh has got a pretty good experience with police again regarding cadets and other bits and bobs. So between us all, you put all our knowledge together, it's like a dream come true, realistically. Like, you know, I've spent the past 5 years dedicating a lot of my time to learning more and more about Manchester Fire Service specifically, so there's not a lot of questions that you couldn't ask me about Manchester which I couldn't answer. You know, I could probably I can name every state. I'm not going to go into it massively, because again, that's not the point of it, but I just want to clarify for the people who are going around saying that, you know, no one in this group has any idea what they're doing, because that has been proven wrong time and time again, and that will continue to be proven wrong time and time again. But yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff that I'm not able to actually just go into. You know, there's stuff that I've done and other people have done which isn't publicly available, and which I'm not going to make it a big song and dance about. But yeah, between the four of us, I think we run a pretty solid team. You know, we have done for the past 5 years, and we've not had any problems with it up to now. So yeah, that is that. Right, on to leaked assets. So obviously there's a lot of questions that are asked constantly about if I've got leaked assets in my inventory, can I still join game? If I'm in this group, can I still join game? If I had leaked assets in the past and I was banned for it, can I get unbanned? These are all questions that are valid, you know, they're good questions to ask, which is kind of what I'll go into. So obviously the whole fire service scene on Roblox is pretty competitive at times. You know, a lot of people obtain leaked models and stuff like that, and go around boasting about it. And then there's other people who genuinely have no idea that they are leaked. So like, when I first started the group back in 2019, I was using stuff that I'd found on the free model page. Part of it was stuff that I'd found on the free model page, which I was using in the group, because again, I had no idea that wasn't something you could do. Because obviously, generally, if you're coming on Roblox for like first time, whatever, and you go in studio and you type UK fire engine in the search bar on the toolbox, generally you're gonna get like 15 leak pumps that are gonna come up that you're gonna look at them and think, oh yeah, belting, I can use them. So if that's the case and you have used leaked assets in the past, genuinely not knowing, then yes, there is a way that we can work around it, as long as you can prove to us that them leaked assets that you had are no longer in your possession, everything's been deleted, you're not in groups affiliated with leaked assets, then yeah, generally I haven't got a problem with letting people back in. There's a lot of people, especially since the game's become public, there's a lot of people that have been unbanned, and a lot of people that I still let in the game, even though maybe go back 2 years, I would have never spoken to again. But you know, there's people who might make mistakes in the past. You know, I'm not a horrible person at the end of the day. I need to protect the game and the group, because if stuff goes wrong, then it's not going to end great for me. So yeah, that then takes us to the next step, which is groups and people who are affiliated with leaked assets. So sure you can see where this is going. So stuff like this, this is a massive red flag. If anyone's found in any groups that are associated like this, where it just consists of leak models, then that's an instant ban from the group, obviously. You know, there's a lot of people who've come to me and said, oh yeah, you know, like this group at the top, for example, I'm in this, but I want to come to yours. And the thing is, if you're in that, you're affiliated with leaked assets, right? So the person who runs that group has been in my group before. He begged it off me for a long time to be in my group. And I gave him the chance. I let him in the group. I let him in the group, and then he kind of threw it all back in my face and was like, yeah, nah, I saw it, and then ran off with all my stuff again. So that was me trying to be a decent human being, but hey ho, we don't all get what we want. And then the bottom group, again, is just the same. These are just people who are lucky enough to synapse a copy of my map, a copy of my models, and then they've gone away and made their own thing out of it, basically, and gone, oh yeah, well, this is mine, this is what I'm using, blah, 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 blah. But obviously, I genuinely try and ignore it. Because it doesn't actually bother me that much, believe it or not. But when there's people coming to me day in, day out, saying this, asking that, I'm just trying to rule it all out now. So then it's not something that needs to frequently be asked. So yeah, so these groups, these are all a green light. So the top channel is affiliated with our group. The MOS Heart Roblox YouTube account, it's no longer used, but you can still see all the old Heart Team videos on there. And then the TRU YouTube channel at the bottom, that was what was made for our TRU. So these are all affiliated accounts, so these are all real. Obviously, a lot of the time people will come to me with different YouTube videos and stuff like that and say, is this leaked or is this real? These are all the affiliated channels, obviously GMP as well, but I'm just more focusing on the stuff like the fire service stuff and channels that aren't used that as much anymore. But yeah, better let me just have a sip of my drinks. My throat is drying up. Give me 2 seconds. Get the lid off.
If you're ever in doubt, you can always check the main Discord, and that's got public links, and that's got the link to our official group. That's got links to, say, Instagrams, Twitters, whatever it may be, YouTube's. That it's all in there, and also you can check with our YouTube channel here, and then it will sort of show somewhat. I'm not quite sure exactly what, but it'll show how affiliated things are and official, and quite often you can simply tell just by looking at it the quality of our group and then the quality of other groups.
So other questions that are asked as well is obviously if you were caught, or if you were in or caught or whatever in any of these groups that were shown previously, can you still join mine? Long and short of it is yes, but you're going to be on a very kind of thin, you're going to be on a very thin piece of ice, basically. So obviously, if you're a firefighter or whatever in any of these groups, whether it's these two or any of the others, like, you know, there's loads of them. I'm not just singling these two specifically out, because there's a lot of them, especially on TikTok and stuff like that. There's a lot more on TikTok and Instagram and all that. If you're known to be affiliated with any elite group, obviously if you're the owner of it or a developer for it, so you've blatantly got leaked assets, and that opens up a whole different kind of story to it. So for that point, it then got back to what I said before about proving that you've not got them leaked assets anymore, proving that they're deleted, etc., etc. But if you are genuinely just a firefighter in it, and you know it's something that you've wanted, if you've been trying to get in the actual GMFRS for a while, like in this group, then fairs. You know, if you went to that one because I don't take on as much as they do, then yeah, fair enough. Then if you can prove that you've left that group, then that's fine. You know, we've got multiple people who come on game who've left groups like that to come onto the game. Who can vouch and say, yeah, that is exactly the case. If you can prove that you're no longer in them groups and no longer affiliated with the owners and leaked assets, then yeah, you're more than welcome to join. But then again, that takes us back to previous step, which is the owners' attitude towards it, basically. So again, I'm not trying to single anyone out because everyone is the same, but for example, the person who runs one of these groups, who occasionally, I say occasionally, I'll just be brutally honest, I don't know why I'm trying to hide it, is very, very gobby to start with. Seems to think that they're on top of the world constantly. You know, I tried my best in the past to kind of work with that person and say, right, you know, if you can remove your assets, blah blah blah, then you can come into the group. That was what I said to him fair and square. And, you know, we had a deal that went on for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then I woke up one day to a message off him saying, yeah, nah, sorry, they prefer running a group, etc. And then took off with a load more synapse copies of the map. Yeah, but to this day, that same person still says that they're all their assets, which isn't very ideal, really. But that takes us on to this slide. So on the left, this was the response from one of the people who run that group. I'll let you have a read through that quickly while I have a quick drink. So going into this one, like I said, this came from the owner of one of the groups. And this wasn't sent to me, just an FYI, because I was blocked a long time ago. But yeah, no, that's one of the messages that was sent to someone in my group who's politely forwarded it on to me. You know, some of the stuff he said in there, fairs. You know, it may only be Lego stuff, and maybe his site is that he wants to get on with his own thing. And he wants me to get on with my own thing and not cause any trouble. That's fine. That's fairs, right? But as I've said in the past stream, I worked out the other day that I've spent over 2,000 hours developing this just for this group alone. You know, all the stations that I've built, including all the Manchester ones, plus all the rebuilds, plus all the Cheshire stations, plus all the Lanc stations, plus all the West Yorkshire stations, plus other bits and bobs on the side. That's 2,000 hours in the past 3 years that I've spent developing for this group. And for someone to walk up and just basically go, click, click, boom, yeah, that's mine, here we go, let's go and start up a new group. That's what I have a problem with, you know what I mean? And then when it turns around to the point where they then sit there and say, yeah, you know, my models, these are my models, etc., etc., that's what I can't deal with. That's what really annoys me. Which I've made this clear multiple times, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to sit here and have a whinge about it. Like, at the end of the day, it's my stuff. As he said in here, it's only a Lego game. Yeah, maybe to him it might only be a Lego game, but to me it's a lot more than that, because I've dedicated a lot of my time in real life and in the virtual world, if you like, to this game. So it's a lot more than just a bit of Lego to me. Obviously, someone who's never developed anything in his life, he wouldn't understand that. And again, this line that I want to underline. I understand that he doesn't appreciate us using the stuff that he's got. So again, there's another example of he did not want to sit there and say use his stuff. Looking at me. But yeah, a Lego brick. Yeah, okay. So again, takes us back to it. So this like I said, everyone seems to think it's all just a bit of a laugh. But sorry, let me just catch up with chat a second. I'll get into the appeal section in a minute. Yeah, so that's that one. So that comes from one of the owners of the other groups. When someone questioned them, him, whatever, on what was going on, basically. And then this is another screenshot from one of the Discords. This is actually, ironically, came from someone who has just been kicked out of my group. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. But, you know, on this side, you see him acting all, yeah, you know, let's just get on with it. Let's just crack on, blah, blah, blah. And then there's here, which was like, what, the day before this message was sent. Oh, no, sorry, it was the same day. It was just 9 hours previously. So, yeah, these messages were sent between the owner and someone who was in my group up until about 2 weeks ago. So the person who it was going back and forth with, this line, and this line. That was someone who was in my group, was been begging it for months and months, probably longer than that, to be fair. Probably talking about a year or so. That one person was begging it off me every day, messaging me on different social medias to let him in the group. And, you know, eventually I finally gave in. I said, you know, here's the application, let's get it done. I helped him through the application stage. And boom, he was in just like that. He was in for about a month. And then I'd love for everyone to take a guess at what caused him to get banned. I'll give you a clue. He's in the exact same boat as everyone else who is involved with stuff like this. He appeared with leaked models. He went onto the For You page, or not the For You page, the toolbox. I don't know why I just said For You, but technically it is a For You page. I don't know what he went on, but he was caught out with leaked models, so he got banned. And now, ironically, he's in this group, and then, yeah, this game's awful. You know, we have no command, yada yada yada. But generally, this is the same kind of topic, if you know what I mean. So, like, everyone who's in all these groups are somehow affiliated with Elite Assets. I was sent a picture the other day that was sent to me off one of the owners of the groups, which had like 10 people all lined up. And I think the caption was El Noah. But again, I replied to that saying that there's 6 or 7 people that I counted just off the Roblox avatar, so I know for having sign-ups. I mean, you know what I mean? But yeah, generally, this is what I mean. You don't want to get caught up in stuff like this. If you want to place in this group as a firefighter, as a police officer, as MWAS, as anything, you know, don't get caught up in this. It's not worth it. Because, you know, there's a lot... if I opened up a list now of all the people that are banned from the Discord and the game just for having leaked assets, it'd take me years to read it all out. It's insane. But obviously, some of the people who then come back to me and said, I genuinely didn't know, can I have another shot? I've deleted it. Here's the screenshots that it's been deleted. And then, boom, they're unbanned like that. You know, they're in-game. And then maybe a month later, they're on the course as a firefighter. It's as simple as, but... and then going back to the leadership thing about how we can't lead anything, etc., etc. This again is from the same owner who owns the previous group and the previous group before that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, just want to underline this one as well. Steals my stuff and then goes on about saying it's not my stuff. This is what I mean. Going back to this, the fact that it's claimed that it's theirs when it's blatantly obvious it's not. But use your brains. Yeah, that's that. I'm done yapping about this now. But yeah, just use your brains. Don't come back to me and say I don't know why I'm banned, blah blah blah. And then have me go into your inventory and see a pump there. Because the amount of times that I've done that, where people have messaged me and gone, I really don't know why I'm banned. I've never done anything wrong. I've never came in the game before. I'm just trying to join the Discord. It says I'm banned, and I go, right, send me your Roblox profile. Click on it, bang, there we go. Leaks assets straight there, on like just in my face. Yeah, we'll just leave that where it is. So, finally, these are the official social media accounts for the group. Any of the other ones that aren't, obviously the YouTube channel is what you're watching this on, so this is the official YouTube channel. This is the only official YouTube channel for the fire service specifically. There's all the tags for the different social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok and Facebook. They're all the handles that you need. Anything else that isn't them for the fire service, or 99% chance they're all going to be leaked stuff. So yeah, don't be affiliated with it. That's all I'll say. Let me just make sure I'm not idled from game before I like thingy back. Right. There we go. But yeah, no. So for people who are banned and want a chance of getting unbanned, if you're not already in the Discord, then the best way to do that is probably... I'm trying to think. Tell you what I'm going to look at doing is I'll make a ban appeal kind of form that you can fill out, that I'll put into the links on the YouTube videos that you can find. If you're banned from obviously if you're in the Discord already and just can't get in game, then that's great. Or vice versa, if you're banned from the Discord but you can still get in game, then come and speak to someone. You know, Josh is there, you know, on GMP, you've got me on fire, and Chad and Rosh just kind of float about and everything, so you'll see someone somewhere. Just come and ask us. That doesn't mean turn up at like shift change at the station and walk in and start demanding that you get unbanned, because that seems to be a pretty frequent thing. But yeah, before I go ahead and end stream, I'm going to show you guys something I made a couple of months ago. I never actually thought I was going to end up showing it live on YouTube, because it's pretty funny and it's pretty embarrassing for the people that it's about, but I feel like now of all times is probably a good time to show it. So let me play you this really quick. Let me just mute the music and swap to this.
Hi. I am Noah. I am the Chief Fire Officer for the Real Greater Manchester Fire and Rescue Service on Roblox. The point of this video is to point out that this is the only official GMFRS Roblox. Next you are going to see all the stations I have built. Next we will look at the stuff that is partially mine but leaked assets. This means bad. Do you get my point? Aww. Aww. Don't leak assets, guys. Remember that's other people's hard work. Okay, bye.
Sorry, I didn't mean to absolutely blast your ears. I forgot that I did that at the end. But yeah, no, I just thought I'd quickly show you that video, as only a set amount of people have seen that video, and I find it very amusing. That video was made like a year and a half ago, just an FYI. So it shows how long that we've been battling all this for, but hey ho. Things don't change, people don't give up. But neither do I! Yeah, if there's any other questions, then now's the chance to ask them. Like I say, I'm going to aim to get off the stream in the next 5 minutes or so. There is an SSU happening at 20:15, 8:15, 8:15. So, if any of you want to come down to that, you're more than welcome to. The game link is in the YouTube channel's description, as is the group link. That's another question I'll answer quickly before it gets asked again. For people who are asking to get accepted in the group, you don't need to be accepted into the group anymore to get in game. It says it in the Discord, it says it, I've said it multiple times, you do not need to get into the group anymore. Before sign-ups was taken down and all that, it was a group-only game, so people had to get accepted into the group as public before you were able to join game, but it doesn't work like that now. Anyone can join game as long as there's an SSU happening. I think a lot of people try and join game when there's no SSU happening, but when there isn't an SSU, the game is locked. And when there is, it's open, so just keep an eye out on the Discord for when there's a shift actually happening, and then the game will be open. Every time the game opens, I put a link in the server startup channel. Josh, have you got anything else you'd like to add?
Not necessarily, just to the leaked games, leaked groups that are definitely watching this. Just know that we're laughing at you, really. It's petty, and especially when you claim our models as yours, say that you built them. Everybody knows you didn't build them. You don't build. Simple. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I could pretty easily make more of them videos like the one I just showed you, but I'll save everyone else the embarrassment of it. For now, anyway, if it continues, then by all means, I might just go fully out with it and just make some more videos and actually put them public on the YouTube channel just for a bit of a laugh. But yeah, no. Thank you for tuning into the stream. Are you going back on game? Yes, at 8:15. 8:15, we'll be back on game for a night shift, so we'll be on for 2 hours. So yeah. Thank you for tuning into the stream. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Probably be in a few weeks again. I think it's been like, what, 3 weeks since the last one, so it'll probably be roughly about the same each time. It'll probably every 3 or 4 weeks or so we'll do another one. Just as a bit of a catch up, and we'll try and find some topics to go over each time we do one. But yeah, other than that, I hope you all have a great night, and stay away from leak groups. Is there a chance of a double shift tonight? Possibly. It just depends what attendance is like for fire and police as well. But yeah, no, other than that, have a good night, and I will see you all either on the SSU or next stream.
Turns the sun around.